And two great teams. The Bryans, well, they got a 1-2 record in the last 3 or 4 sets in match tiebreaks, so haven't been able to win the big points, although they did beat Ram and Nakashima 5-4. It's going to be a couple of points that are going to decide it, right, Mark?
Yeah, it's going to be really close today. Look for Mike and Bryan. They've switched sides. We'll talk more about that later. However, Robert Lindstedt with the big serve, Jean-Julien Roger at net, going to be very dangerous for Springfield.
Yeah, Roger is the speed merchant. Lindstedt is the man with the firepower who will try and set up his partner at the net. So the lasers and the rollers kicking it off. It's men's doubles first. We got plenty more great tennis throughout the day as well.
World Team Tennis is brought to you by World Team Tennis is brought to you by Geico. Did you know that Geico is now offering an extra 15% credit on car insurance? That's on top of what Geico could already save you. Visit geico.com to learn more. By the Greenbrier Valley in West Virginia, home to scenic trails and quiet rivers, friendly mountain towns, and America's resort, the Greenbrier. And by DraftKings. Download the DraftKings app and use promo code WTT to play free for thousands of dollars in prizes this season.
Now we are at Center Courts, just at Creekside. Fabulous stadium set in these beautiful Allegheny Mountains. The lasers and the rollers, and we're about to kick it off in men's doubles. Couldn't ask for better setting, although it is a little bit warm and toasty today, a fair amount of humidity. Look now at our Wilson lineups and today's order of play. Mention the men's doubles first. Women's singles, Katie McNally, Ala Tomljanovic up next. Then it's mixed doubles, women's doubles, and men's singles. Mitchell Kruger and Sam Querrey for the last match.
The last time Vegas and Springfield played, it was Querrey 5-1 over Kruger. Maybe Vegas is looking to catch up at the end if they're behind, give themselves a little cushion.
That's right, Vegas, the home side. So Tim Blankiron is the coach and captain. He sets the order of play. And here's Bob Bryan ready to tee this one off. Remind you of the rules. Let's are in play. Tough way to start the match. First ball's off the net cord. Test your reactions. just a little wide as Rozier got that volley, or excuse me, that return down low to the half volley. So a little bit of trouble for Bob Bryan in the opening game.
Should be 15-all. We have a scoreboard error after that
right,
ace on the first point.
Exactly. Thank you. All right, now we've got our score right. And the chair is Roger Pennington, Amarillo, Texas. Good serve from Bob there. 42 years of age, still producing alongside brother Mike. The brothers no longer out of Camarillo in California. They're both living in Florida. And most family men these days. So everything in this opening game. Got a double fault, score wrong.
Net court ace.
Net court ace. Not a surprise. That's what World Team Tennis is all about. Lindstedt strong and tall on the return, that time finding the net. Splits his time between Stockholm and Miami. Mentioned all these guys have Grand Slam titles. Lindstedt having won the Australian back in 2014. Rozier has a couple of Grand Slam titles, having won Wimbledon and the US Open.
That Jean-Julien Rozier backhand return does a nice job getting the ball low below the height of the net, making for a tough volley for the net man.
Yeah, if you have the choice, you'd rather see Rozier hitting a forehand. His two-hander is a thing of beauty. Let's see where Bob goes with this first serve. Missed it out wide. Katie McNally getting hit with that one. Oh, yes. Mike Bryan comes up with a volley winner. So Vegas on the board first. A reminder of the format. Sets to 5 games, 9-point tiebreaker at 4 games all. Home team, we mentioned, selects the order of play. And you have to be alert to no ad scoring. Every game counts, but also lets are in play. Substitutions, Mark, can be a key.
Calling timeouts between points. Only sport in the world as well. Men and women on the same team.
So here's the big Swede serving. Yeah, Lindstedt is a year older than the Bryans, so he's at 43, one of the oldest guys on tour, still playing some good tennis. His 3rd season in World Team Tennis. In fact, he was the Finals MVP last year for the Lasers. One reason why they're able to take home the title. Lindstedt with that heavy delivery, heavy serve. I think everything he hits pretty hard. He doesn't like to temporize.
Oh, it's a return that Mike Bryan hits so well. That off backhand for the one-hander. So good catching that ball out in front with a nice short swing, using the pace from the serve.
And we talked a little bit at the top about how the Bryans changed receiving positions.
Yeah, it's actually something they did a few years ago. I was talking to their coach, Dave Marshall, who's here. It was something they did when they were playing Daniel Nestor and Nenad Zimonjic. Wow, nice cover from Robert Lindstedt. Coach Marshall actually reminded me that they did this in Del Rey this year. After losing the first set, they switched sides and came back to win the match in the final.
Yeah, normally Bob, the left-hander, is in the deuce. Mike always anchoring the ad.
Wow, great hands from Bob Bryan. Keep the ball in play there. One of the things Coach Marshall was saying as well was with this no-ad format in the deuce side, Mike Bryan can end up taking a lot more consequential returns. And it puts pressure on the servers when they go to the ad court against Bob Bryan. Keep it away from that big forehand of his.
Got up well for that lob volley. Springfield replies for the hold of serve. We've got some major champions on WTT rosters this season. Bob and Mike Bryan, 16-time champions. We mentioned Lindstedt and Rozier. How about Rajiv Ram having won the Australian this year? Jack Sock and Ryan Harrison. Pretty impressive lineup.
Two of those Grand Slams. Jack Sock won with Mike Bryan. Jack Sock in the ad court for that team. Mike Bryan in the deuce.
That's a lot of Grand Slam hardware. And I think they get paid for that as well.
It's a healthy paycheck.
Prize money is good when you're taking home major titles. I mentioned the Bryan brothers' 18th season. Bob is an inch taller than Mike. So if you thought they were identical, they're almost identical.
Both different dominant hands. Mike Bryan also with the sunglasses. Great overhead. A little bit of misdirection there. Bob crossed right as Mike was about to hit the overhead.
You can see him just call off Bob. Let him take. Robertson, what did that hit? Bounced off something. Strong game from Mike Bryan. That's 2-1. Doing well on their serve. Tim Blankiron. And again, Bob Bryan changing his rackets. Do you know what that's about? Is that tension or weight?
It's usually a tension thing. Sometimes you might want to serve with a looser racket or a tighter racket, depending on how you're feeling. Maybe a tighter racket here for the return game. You can sort of blunt some of the power from the server.
Jean-Julien Rozier, also a veteran, 38 years of age. Curacao and Antilles, he's a veteran too, 5th season. Played his college tennis at UCLA, going up against a couple of Stanford players, Bob and Mike Bryan. Suddenly, the winds have really picked up here. Rozier just taking a pause to look around and see what's happening.
That's going to send that chip return long.
Well, you can see some of the leaves from the nearby trees blowing all the way across to the stadium. Might just The moment possibly to get them up. You can see the trees really moving. The flags are fully outstretched. There's a presence here now. All right, so Springfield takes the game at love. Lindstedt with a nice volley to finish it off. We're getting underway. Use a faster pace situation to make his serve bigger and better. I think both teams will profit from being indoors.
When you talk to big servers, Leaf, almost to a man, they love to come indoors, take away the sun, take away the wind, take away any conditions.
Boy, you see the hands that Roger possesses, and then the speed to back it up.
Yeah, great return at the feet, getting a ball he wants, and placing that forehand volley outside of the range of Bob Bryan.
2 games all. We've completed the first 4 games outside. Here we are indoors. Right down the center. That's a good ball.
I got in here pretty quickly, Leaf, and Lindstedt and Roger spent a lot of time hitting balls most of that break.
Another winning shot from Lindstedt. Boy, these guys have not missed a trick making the move indoors, and they seem ready to go.
Well, all set up by the Roger return. That's why Jean-Julien Roger is one of the best doubles players in the world. Even on an indoor court, he's putting returns in play, getting the ball down at your feet, and making the server team play points. No freebies.
Yeah, something that the Bryans normally do, don't they? They're so good at getting balls back in play. Let's see if they have bounce back ability. Down a break, Lindstedt serving 3-2.
Wow, it's a really big second serve from Robert Lindstedt right in the body of Mike Bryan. Great floating return for Jean-Julien Roger to move on. That's what you said of your partner. Jean-Julien Roger so aware up there. See the floating return starting to move to the middle.
You mentioned Roger out of Curacao when he was 12 years of age, came to Miami, and that's where he's been based out of ever since. Talked a little bit about the Bryans. Bob Bryan, normally he's in the deuce court. The Bryans have changed things up a bit, try and turn things around. It's been a bumpy road for them this season, so Bob is now in the ad. Mike, the right-handers, in the deuce.
Oh, what a return. Mike Bryan, so stable with that racket. He's one of the best returners in doubles history. That might have caught the outside of the line.
Yeah, we were leaning in trying to get a Hawkeye look at that one. Outside edge, 15-30. Faults in this game. Yeah, Lindstedt quickly up to the line.
Couple good body serves from Robert Lindstedt. Body forehand after the last time trying body backhand didn't work out so well for them. Body forehand's probably a better place to serve Mike Bryan.
All right, we've got another deciding point. We had a deciding point in the opening game that Bob Bryan won on his serve. Remember, no ad scoring. Into the deuce court, Mike Bryan returning. Wow, can you believe it? Another double fall. That's 3 in the game. And here's a look at the rollers. Their 2020 results. You can see men's doubles. It's been a strong part of their play. Despite the Bryans having some losses, they're normally a lot of tie breaks.
Yeah, Vegas had some injuries and with some of the female players in their team. That's why the mixed doubles numbers are probably a little lower than you would expect, as well as the women's singles, women's doubles events.
Yes, Bob Bryan just crushing a volley.
Oh, he was so close to the net. Jean-Julien Roger kept the point alive initially, but that's a too easy of a volley for Bob Bryan.
A little surprising how many double faults we've seen. Traded breaks in this opening set. You see 3 double faults on both sides. Oh, that was money.
That was clean off the racket of Robert Lindstedt. He read this serve the whole way. Contact out in front, true down the line.
Coach DeJager in the back. He's got this team ready to go. They might be 4-8, but they're looking for the W tonight.
Oh, that's pretty. That's an amazing touch from Jean-Julien Roger.
Yeah, there wasn't a big opening with this inside-out volley. Great points. So the Bryans get to deciding point. Just a quick look at the standings. See where Vegas is, where Springfield is. Vegas at 4-8. Springfield at 3-8, trying to stay out of the bottom. The Freedoms and Chicago locked up playoff spots. And they get out of trouble. Mike Bryan with some good serving. I mean, if you are playing the Bryans, I mean, what kind of conversations do most teams have when they go up against them? You know, where can they find holes to take advantage of?
I think you have to figure out how to not let them do what they want to do. I think serve them body a lot, try to maybe exploit the movement. Such a good return from Mike Bryan. That's why you need to serve body.
Yep.
When he stretches his arms, the ball's in play and the ball's coming in low.
I think you have to hit your spots with your serve. I think returning, you have to keep them honest because they move so much. I think you have to work the lines a bit when it comes to returns.
I think you can use the bump lob when Bob Bryan's at the net, test out that hip that he had surgically repaired. And that for me is the biggest one. You can't give them free points. You can't miss balls around the net. You can't miss too many returns. You need to make them play every single point because they're already good enough. You don't need to help them out.
Yeah, Springfield will be disappointed. They had the 3-1 lead. Here they are serving to try and stay in this set. And this time Lindstedt was ready. Roger.
Yeah, he still gets up for the overhead pretty well for a veteran.
Roger, 8 of the last 9 years inside the top 20. A couple of slam titles. As we mentioned earlier, played his college tennis at UCLA. All right, here's a point for the Lasers to get into a 9-point tiebreak. Yeah, it's just a little dump volley from Lindstedt, and it worked.
Yes, good awareness from Robert Lindstedt. One volley deep, next one a little short. See if Bob Bryan's comfortable moving up to it. There's a little ginger jogging that one off.
Yeah, it's interesting to spend time, as you did with Dave Marshall, the coach. You know, the Bryan brothers, they take notes before every match, and Marshall gives them a list of things they want to look for based on who they're playing. I mean, there's a lot of preparation that goes into these guys stepping out on the court.
Yeah, they actually spent a month with Bob Bryan returning serves out of the ad court this offseason, just in case a situation came up this year where they wanted to switch, just to give them the option of doing that.
First point in the tiebreak goes to the Lasers. So 1 point all. Bob Bryan enjoying that little exchange.
Well, he snapped that tweener pretty well off the lob that was out from Lindstedt.
Yeah, Lindstedt lost his serve when they were up a break. He had 3 double faults. See if he's rediscovered the rhythm.
For someone like Lindstedt, he could be having an issue with the lights. The lights, as we see, face down on the court.
You can see the Bryans, their 3rd straight match that's gone to a tiebreak. They split those 2. And they've got a 2-1 lead in this one. Yeah, you could hear that string break down at the stadium. That one was really loud. So 2 points all. The change ends of the court. Lindstedt will no doubt go and dig out a new racket out of his bag.
When's the last time you saw a broken string in competition?
That's the first one we've seen in World Team Tennis that I can remember. Of course, yeah, these strings nowadays. I think it was Guillermo Vilas, the great Argentine champion, who said, you can go to the moon with these rackets. And the string will take you places.
Yeah, most players will play each set with a fresh racket. They're usually switching out before the strings get even close to breaking.
Yeah, they're so meticulous about, okay, how many games in? Have I lost a half a pound of tension? They'll feel it, they'll know it. 3-2. The Rollers and the Bryans trying to capture this opening set.
Wow, a couple really good first serves from Mike Bryan.
All right, set points coming up for Vegas. Tim Blankiron there, lending his support. Blankiron played his college tennis at UNLV. He's in the Hall of Fame. He won the NCAA doubles title, so he knows what he's talking about when he speaks about doubles.
And big servers. He had a cannon on his shoulder.
That's a little disappointing for Lindstedt, who really struggled. The Bryans taking advantage of all the opportunities they were given. They get the opening set 5-4. The Rollers hitting a hot streak.